Okay, everyone. This is a Bunn FMD 5. The model is FMD 5. This one has a few issues. First thing is it is a pretty old unit, so we want to look into maybe putting it in for a replacement. I'm just going to show you a couple of the issues that are going on that I'm finding right now. As you can see, the door is magnetic, has a little squeak to it, so I'm gonna lube those hinges on it. But it wasn't closing before, but now I realigned the door so that it is closing completely now. We have a leak. There's a steady leak on this, a steady drip, I should say, on this number 4 valve, number 5 valve, I call it. These are numbered from right to left, by the way. So this would be 1 starting on your far right, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So valve 5 is got a steady drip. You can see right there. This valve right here, valve 4. It has an issue with the not dispensing properly. When I press the button, it is dispensing, but as you can see, the hopper isn't turning. There's powder in the hoppers, and there's a rotator inside that pushes the powder out, and it's not pushing the powder out. But one thing I could show you is on these hoppers, the lids on the hoppers go a certain way. They go in a certain direction, or they won't make a complete connection on that valve there that spins it. That's the inside of the hopper. You can see the rotator, that rotating wheel that pushes the powder out. But I wanted to show you is this top cover. The top cover here. See how this tab is on the back? This tab should be facing the front, because that tab will stop it from seating in properly. Okay, so, and then you can see there the pin, the cotter pin inside the shaft in the back is damaged, has a little damage. I'm going to see if I could straighten that out or replace the pin. But let's see if we can get it to dispense properly first. So I'm going to have to vacuum out all of this powder that's back there too, because that blocks it from going in also. So let's just see. Got the hopper back in. Yeah, as you can see, it's not spinning at all. So that's one that we'll have to work on. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out for now. And you want to keep these hoppers in line from where you take them. So usually what I do is I'll take them out and I'll set them right above where I took it out at, just so you have it in the right position. So now let's go ahead and dispense again. We want to see. Okay. So the motor is turning, but as you can see, that pin is damaged back there. So I'm gonna have to replace that pin, and then we should be all set with that one. This next valve seems to be working fine. That's a hot chocolate. As you can see it turning, and that's good. Okay, now let's try valve number 2. That one's turning fine. Valve number one. That one's turning. So we have a few things we're gonna have to replace before we put this in for a quote to replace it. But as you can see too, these nozzles, they're missing the there's black nozzle tip on there, and that helps the water, everything to go right into the cup without a lot of splashing. So these two here are missing those. So I'm gonna also see if I have any of those and put that in there. But first I'm gonna come back, clean everything up here, up top, change that pin, and then I'll show you where we can find the water valves for these. The way this machine works is there's three liquid dispense valves in the back of the unit, on the back side of the unit, and those three feed these three valves here. And these two valves have two liquid dispense valves on the right side. So you got three on your left and you got two on your right. So just remember that you do have 5 separate valves for each of these nozzles. Okay, so I'm gonna be cleaning up this area here. I'm gonna give these a rinse off with some hot water and cleanser. I usually spray the cleanser onto these fittings and these brackets, and these all have seals on them. As you can see right here, this seal is leaking here. These other two are showing indications of leakage. So I'm going to replace all of the seals, but I'm going to clean everything up right now, and then I usually try to get it as clean as possible, and then you can only do so much if it's not really cleaned often, and these don't seem to have been cleaned often. So I just usually take a little cleanser and water with like a soft bristle brush, like a paintbrush or something, and then just rinse them off. Just clean off around the area. Some of these you can use again if they're not, if they're not damaged or anything. But more than likely, I'm just going to end up replacing all of these brackets here. Let me see, that syrup is sticky, so sometimes it takes a little bit to get this all off. Sometimes you have to scrape it off. And it's always good to vacuum this area up here and clean it, just so it can be clear of any stickiness and build up of the powder, because the powder gets built up in the back there. So that kind of stops those hoppers from fitting in correctly too. This is normally stuff that would be done during a PM, during a maintenance or something like that. But this is a service call, but I see that this unit needs some attention, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take care of it all that you're able to do. I'm still waiting on the to see if we could get the approval to put this in for a quote for replacement, but you never know when that'll come through. So I'm gonna go ahead and do as much as I can to get this back up and running, and without any leaks, and then we'll see what happens from there. While I'm at it, I just want to show you if hopefully you can see this pretty good. These switches right here. This switch here is for the tank heater. So up is off, so now the heater's off. Down is on. That's the toggle switch, and this is a toggle switch here where you can go up and it'll rinse. That way the customer can rinse those mixing cups out that you see in the product and the water mixing in. This way the motor will run. This motor will run, but this motor up here won't run, so it won't send powder through that chamber. It'll just send the hot water, and the hot water is about 200 degrees, so it's pretty hot, and it rinses out everything. And this switch here is for you to increase or decrease your powder level, the amount of powder that drops out. So if I press this button here, I'm not going to press it in right now, but if I press this button, you would press this button right here, and then it would dispense some product out, and then you could go ahead and go up if you wanted to increase the product, and you could press down to decrease the product. Now each time that you press up or down, either way that you're going with it, if you want to increase the amount of powder to be poured out, every time that you press that switch up or down, it's going to be about 2 ounces, about 2 ounces of product each time. So you want to be sure that you don't do it too much or too little. But usually you don't really have to make much adjustments on that. And this one, we also have that door that I want to gonna put a little lube on this door hinges, because I hear them squeaking. Just a little around the joints of it, and then I try to wipe up the excess if there's any. That's a lot better. That's better right there. No more squeaking. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna pull these off. These are, let me get this 1 second. Give me a second here. These are whipper assemblies. They help whip the powder and mix the water and the powder together. I'm just gonna set those aside. I usually take these and set them. I'll set them in hot water and cleanser and let them sit while I'm doing the rest of the stuff. They just pull straight off on these shafts. You'll see it'll be a rounded side and then there'll be a flat side. And if the whippers aren't too worn down, you'll be able to see like the flat section, and then you just line those up and then they push right on. So you don't have to force it and push it on, because then that'll just cause that whipper assembly to spin around without the shaft will spin within the whipper assembly. So you want to just be a little easy on getting those on. As far as these brackets go right here, I just put an end on the tip. I don't think you can see that right there. Let me do this one here. Put an end right on the tip right there, end of your slotted screwdriver, and then just tap it. Just tap it and it'll open right up. See how the seals are leaking? So I'm gonna replace all of these. See that? See that seal right there? That O-ring? That's been damaged, so that's gonna leak by and cause more leakage. So just gonna go ahead and replace them all. See that one there? That one had a lot of leakage too. So those are all going to get replaced, and I'm just going to clean up around here, clean these shafts, and then I put a little lube on them also, just to keep them from building up rust or anything like that, or to get all that syrup off of there. Give it a little spray. Like I said, these always will accumulate leaks after a while, so they should be maintained like every 6 months or so. If not, the customer will start seeing leaks. All right, now for these shafts here, like I said, I like to lube them a little bit with some Dow 111 lube. I just use a little dab and kind of spread it along the shaft itself, right up there. And so that keeps it from getting like really sticky or anything like that, and it kind of helps it take care of any leaks that may get by. But it does keep the shaft lubricated, so you don't have too much of a problem getting that shaft with those whipper assemblies off and stuff. So for now, what I'm going to do is, it looks like I have two valves that are leaking. This one here, and possibly this one right here too. So I'm going to get that set up and then take a look in there, so I can show you all where it's where those liquid dispense valves are at. Okay, I just want to show you first this pin right here, that one that was damaged. Just want to show you, I usually use a clamp-on needle nose, one that'll lock in, and then I just go ahead and lock it down, and then you can kind of work it. You'll be able to work it out of there. So I pulled that out, and now I'm going to work on putting the new one in. They're usually not that easy to pull out, but I got lucky that time. Just want to see if I can get something. I usually try to see if I can get something through there just to make sure that that's clear. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find my pick. Okay, as you can see here, I got my pick. I use the pick for that to go through that hole, make sure that's cleared out. You want to make sure that there's not a piece stuck in there that's gonna prevent you from getting the new one in there good. Okay. Okay, I got this set up now. I just about got that new pin in there. I just wanted to make sure I'm not damaging it as I get it in. I usually use this clamp on and then just wiggle it through. Sometimes I use a little assistance from another tool just to get it to go through a little more. And there we go. Should be good right there. Try to get it where it's even. Okay. Right about there, it should be good. Um, and that's a replacement of a new cotter pin for the hoppers. So far, I've got the new cotter pin in place. I've removed all of the brackets for the mixing chamber and the mixing bracket assemblies, and those are all going to be replaced along with the seals. But now I'm going to look into replacing the valve for this dispense head, and this one too. You can see that one's leaking through because those valves are closed right now, so really they should be pretty fairly dry. These three here are pretty dry, so it's mainly this one and this one here. So, and in order to do that, I had to remove the bottom panel. As you can see, there's two circuit boards. Each board is for one side. So this is for the left side, and this board is for the right side. As you can see, it gets pretty dirty in there too, with old powder that spills in there and leaks and stuff like that. But this is a drain tube for that hot water tank. I'm going to drain out this hot water tank in order to change out those valves. If you look over here, I got a valve right here, and when I open this valve, you'll see one of those open up. Just give me a second. Let me set that up so you can see that. Okay, so now, as you can see, this is the valve for valve number 1. I'm sorry, valve number 5. That's on the left side of that panel. As you can see, it's had some leaking issues here. You can see the hard water there. This is for that valve number 4, and then this is valve number 3. As you can see, that one also has leaking issues. So I'm going to want to replace this valve and this valve. You can take care of the leaks on these by hitting the button a couple of times, but this one seems to have a steady leak, so I'd rather just go ahead and replace the whole valve. And I'm going to hit the button, and then you're going to see that valve open up right there. See, and you see that valve open up. So then that's telling you that that's the valve, that's the dispense valve, that's the liquid valve for that nozzle, for that number 5 nozzle. And the next one is for number 4, and then this one is for valve number 3. So all you have to do is just put a cup underneath that particular nozzle, press the button and you'll see the valve open and close. And then that's letting you know that that's the proper valve. And on the opposite side, those last two nozzles on the right side, nozzle 1 and 2, those nozzles have these same dispense valves on the right hand side. So you have 3 here on the left side and you have 2 on the right side. And in order to replace these valves, you have to empty the tank. So you don't have to empty the tank completely, but you have to empty it enough where the water is below this line. And you want to be sure that you do that, because if you pull these out with water in them, you're gonna get burned. The hot water is just gonna come out on you. Because this tank is, I believe it's like 1.5 gallons, and it's full of hot water. So you just want to be careful and drain the tank first. This is the drain line right here. I'll see if I could set that up real quick. This one you have a clamp and a plug. You want to remove that. You have another clamp right back here. It's a white clamp, and that's clamping this line so water shouldn't come through when you remove the plug. So you want to remove the plug and the clamp first, and then you want to open up this top white clamp so that the water will come out. That's loose. Just move your clamp back, then pull out your plug. Might be a little tight because he's been in there. This one's not too bad, so that's good. Plug is out. Take this all off. Then you just point your line down into a bucket, and then release the clamp so the water will come out. So now the water's draining out, and we're all set. Gonna go ahead and let that all drain, and then we'll get started replacing the valves. Okay, to start by taking out that valve, there's a small set screw back there. It's a slotted screw. I just use my long slotted screwdriver to reach that, and then you can loosen it up. Don't take it all the way out, just loosen it up, and then the valve will release, and then you just got to kind of work it out. I think I have just about all the water out of here, but I always take precaution just in case if there's a little left in there. Just watch your hands. Make sure you don't burn yourself. And then there's a gasket that's holding this in, so you have to wiggle it and pull it towards you, and then you can release it. As you can see, this one it's in pretty bad shape. That's the let's see if I can show you that gasket there. This is the gasket that slides into. So that valve slides into there, and then you'll be able to turn it, and it'll lock right into this screw right here, and then you just tighten down that screw to hold it in. Okay, that screw right there. Okay, so I'm gonna work on getting that back in and back in place, and then we'll work on releasing this one here. This is the new valve. This will be the end that's going to slide into the gasket right here. The gasket looks like it's in good shape, so it mainly was an issue with this valve being clogged in here with sediment and building up and not fully closing. I usually, go ahead and I put a little 111 lube on the O-ring here just to kind of preserve that O-ring. Got a little lube on there. Go ahead. Slide this in. And it seats right in there. Then you just take your screwdriver and then tighten it down. Tighten down the set screw so it's not loose. That's solid. Then we can go ahead and release the line. Sometimes you got to use a little screwdriver to kind of break the seal because it's been on there for years. Just be easy with it so you don't split the line itself, and if it's brittle or like cracking or anything like that, then you might want to look into replacing the tube, but usually they're in pretty good shape. And that just slides right onto this shaft right here. Go ahead and reconnect my lines. These lines pretty much run like a hot, neutral, hot, neutral, hot, neutral. And they have a white, red, and orange line for these here. So now I'm going to try to remove this valve here. Loosen that set screw. You kind of got to go at that set screw with an angle because the side of the valve kind of blocks your way in. And then got that loose. Now that one's released. Got that release from there. As you can see, this had been in there a long time, so it's a lot of build up in there, and the sediment gets built up in there. And like I said, these units are all on. They are all on filters. They're all connected to filters, but as you can see, they really don't hold up much. Let me just get that new valve, and just in case, that new valve, the part number on that is 39285 dash or dot 1001. So 39285.1001, and that's a valve, liquid dispense valve, 120 volt. Go ahead, put a little lube. That's just me. I just like to make sure my fittings and O-rings are lubed, just to kind of preserve them from getting brittle and leaking sooner than they need to. Okay, got the new one connected now. We're gonna go ahead and get that in. Yeah, seats right in to that screw. Then you can just kind of got to go at it with an angle just to get your screwdriver in there enough to tighten it. Okay, that's solid. Go ahead and wire this back. Now I have to go around and start that, plug this unit back in, because you have to power it down before you start emptying the tank. So when you empty that tank, you want to make sure you have it powered down, because if you don't, it'll just keep filling and it'll take you longer to drain it. So these two valves are replaced now. I know you guys probably see, like, this valve here is a different color. The thing about this is the manufacturer at one point they switched to a different manufacturer for their valves. So they used to have these green ones that were being used, and then they switched to another manufacturer for the valves, and now they have the blue ones. So usually for the 120 volt units, you're going to have a blue liquid dispense valve. If it's a green one that you have, just check to make sure that the green one's not a 220 volt valve, because if it is, you'll find out if you hook it up, it won't work at all for you. But this one, it happens to be a 120 volt one from a past manufacturer, so just keep that in mind if you remember. Okay, everybody, the tank is filling back up now, so we're gonna stand by and wait for this to fill back up. Once it fills, then it'll start heating on its own, and then that way you know it's filled once you see it going into heat mode. Let me see if I can show you. So what I do is I leave the tank switch that's off right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. As this heats up, you'll be able to you'll know some of the new models have a light that says ready light that'll say ready, but for this here, you'll hear it stop filling, and then you can go ahead and you'll know that it's heating up once you hear it stop filling. So I'm just gonna stand by for that right now, and then I'm gonna get all of these fittings right here for the dispense platform. Get that ready. Get the stuff ready. Replace the seals and the gaskets, and then we'll be ready to go. Well, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, the way I expected. You can see there's still some leaking going on from that seal, so I'm going to have to replace that seal as well. They may have a split on the inside, and it's leaking by, and that's on both of them. This one here has a leak. You can see it right there. So I'm going to have to drain this back down again, and then replace the seals. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys heard me. I think I had some issues with my microphone, so just to go over on that side panel where I replaced those valves, I did end up having to take those, drain the tank down again and take those valves out and replace the grommets that they slid into. Those grommets had cracks on the back end, so they were leaking by. So I replaced those grommets and then put the valves back in and allowed the unit to refill. So those valves are all set. They're all replaced now. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put all the new parts back on here. And this is one of them here. This is a whipper receptacle. And I'm just going to show you how this goes on. This is the O-ring for the whipper receptacle. Just slides right over and fits into the crevice there. Then this is the shaft seal. This is the shaft seal. And then it fits in. I don't know if you could tell with my hands, but see how it has like a sloped end to it, and then a flat end on the back. You want that back end should go in first, that flat end. So you want to fit it in like that, and then there's a little crevice that it'll fit into. Just work it in there, and then you'll feel it seat itself in. And what happens with these is on these receptacles, the holes on the whipper receptacles, they end up getting widened out or ovaled, and then the plastic wears away on them. So you kind of want it to fit right in there where it's flat, and then that prevents the leakage from going through. Um, and then now we have our shaft seal and our O-ring in place on the whipper receptacle, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the first one here. They just slide right on the shaft, and then you can see you could turn it, and then they click into place. Okay. Sometimes you got to make sure you got a good fit. So now I'm just making sure I have a good fit. This is the other whipper chamber assembly. Putting the shaft seal on now. And you just want to make sure they're all seated in there correctly. This is the back side. Put this one on now. Sometimes they're a little tough to get onto the holding screw. You have to maybe give it a few taps, or you can some of these you can loosen them. Um, to get them on a little easier. I like to keep them where they're at so that I know that they're gonna have a good hold on those whipper chamber assemblies, because if those come loose, they can start to cause a lot of leaks. Just getting the next whipper chamber assembly ready now. Usually during the preventive maintenance on these machines, uh, we we change out all of these whipper chamber assemblies. Um, we used to do them every 6 months, and then some of the clients switched to once a year, having their machines um, maintained. Just gonna get this other one ready now. Getting the last whipper chamber assembly ready, and we'll get that put on, and then start getting the unit reassembled. I had a little trouble with my microphone in this section of the video, so I'm going back over it now. Just to let you all know what I'm doing. Right now, that's the whipper assembly. I'm putting the whippers on each shaft now. Right here is talking about the slot that the whipper assembly has in it. It has a flat edge, and the other side has a rounded edge. So they line up with that shaft, and then they just push right on. Sometimes, if someone doesn't know, they might they might put those on the wrong way, and then they're a little tougher to pull out. So you want to try to be sure you get it lined up correctly. So we have all of the whipper chamber assemblies on there, and those are ready to go. Now I'm gonna work on getting the mixing valves in place. That's a dispense chamber there, and that's where the product and the water will come through. It has two catch ends on it, where it just pushes on to the whipper chamber assembly, and then you turn it to your left, and then it will secure itself. They just push on and then turn to the left, and then that locks it in. To take them out, you would just turn them to your right and then pull towards you, and then they'll come right off. That's the mixing chamber, and that's going to attach to the water tube that's above right there. That's where that tube is going to go into. You just push it straight on, and I usually put the top of those mixing chambers. I usually put them on backwards just to get the mixing chamber on, and then I turn it to the left to fit into the hole that's on top. That's the next one, and you can see that I turn them uh, from the right to the left so that they'll fit into the vent section of the unit. That section with the holes, that's the vent section, and what it does is it has a blower pump that's attached in the back, on the bottom of the machine, and what it does is it pulls down all of the excess powder or dust that the powder makes when they're refilling the hoppers. So you want to make sure that you have those mixing chambers lined up, and that way everything can go through that pump as far as the dust and from the powder. Now I'm putting on the nozzle tip. This helps the product to go straight into the cup as opposed to splattering all over. Um, the first two nozzles there, they were missing the tips, so I'm just replacing those missing tips on there. There they go. Those were the two that were missing. So now they're good to go. So now I should be able to dispense some product from there. You can't really see it right now, but it's dispensing product, water, basically, because there's no hoppers in there yet. But I'm just checking the valve to be sure. I seen a little bit of a leak. I just want to realign that hopper, that mixing chamber, make sure that it's in there good. Putting the mixing chamber back on now, and then I'm going to test it again just to make sure there's no leaks. And you can see the water fill up inside the mixing chamber. Just giving them another checking the fourth one there. And I'm checking the third valve. Those are all dispensing good. I'm checking that second valve. So all of the valves are operating now. I'm going to go ahead and put the hoppers back in up top there. And then I'm still going to request that this unit get replaced because of the age of it and some of the wear and tear on it. It should be replaced. So I'll put that request in and then see where it goes. Okay, so my mic's going on and off, so hopefully you guys can hear me. I got this going. Everything's dispensing right now. Those three are all dispensing good. They only have 4 hoppers. They should have 5. The other one, I'm not sure. They must have misplaced it. But everything else is working fine right now. I'm going to go ahead and get this turned around, and then we'll be ready to wrap this up. And again, this is a Bunn FMD 5 unit. It's a Bunn FMD 5 unit. Everything is good to go. I got one more hopper to put in there, and this will be all set for now until they're able to get their replacement. I thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next job. Take care. Bye-bye.